Denzel Washington received an exclusive invitation to star in a groundbreaking new film, a project that promised to shake the very foundations of the movie industry. Instead of the familiar sets of Hollywood, however, fate whisked him away to a mysterious, ancient land filled with secrets of bygone eras. Upon landing at a modest airport on the outskirts of majestic, rugged mountains, Denzel was immediately captivated by an atmosphere where nature and history blended into one, and every step hinted at an adventure that could alter lives. From the very first moment he set foot in this foreign land, the locals greeted him with profound reverence, as if he were the living embodiment of a long-forgotten legend passed down through generations. There was an unmistakable premonition in the air. His journey was destined to become more than a mere film shoot. It was to be an odyssey, one that would transform not only his own destiny but also the lives of an entire community. The first day overflowed with intense emotions and unexpected encounters. Wandering through narrow, time-worn cobblestone streets where the past seemed frozen in time, Denzel absorbed the heady blend of exotic spices, the smoky aroma of traditional ovens, and the soft murmurs of history echoing in every corner. Yet behind this idyllic facade, unspoken hardships and hidden dangers lurked. Even during his initial press conference, the dense tension in the air rendered every gaze charged with an intensity that suggested far more was at stake than mere celebrity. Later, as he moved away from the film set, fate had another surprise in store. In a quiet alley behind the bustling production, Denzel found himself an unwitting witness to a street brawl, a clash between local activists and die-hard supporters of an ancient noble lineage. The ensuing skirmish unfolded like a scene from a high-octane action film, chaotic melees in shadowed alleys, where each step might be the last, and shots that evoked echoes of old conflicts. That turbulent day not only marked the beginning of his professional adventure but also heralded the start of a transformative chapter in his life, a chapter in which danger, beauty, and destiny would intertwine. Chapter 2. Mistaken Identity. The resurrection of a legend. On the second day, a grand assembly formed in the city's central square, where the sounds of traditional melodies and the pulsating beat of drums set the stage for a vibrant celebration. Instead of receiving the usual warm welcome, however, Denzel found himself at the center of a bewildering case of mistaken identity. The locals, upon catching sight of his portrait, began shouting the name of a long-forgotten legendary actor, a figure whose mythic status had been nurtured through countless stories and traditions. It seemed that fate had played a mischievous trick, thrusting Denzel into the role of this lost icon. The square quickly erupted into a fervor of impromptu performances. Local youths and elders alike took part in an emotionally charged, spontaneous reenactment that brimmed with energy and raw passion. Yet amid the revelry, tension simmered. Groups of fervent fans divided themselves between supporters of the legendary actor and those who recognized the genuine star before them. What began as light-hearted revelry soon escalated into verbal clashes that, on a few moments, nearly spilled over into physical confrontations. Amidst the chaos, local officials rushed in, attempting to restore order, but even they found themselves caught up in the unpredictable swirl of emotions. Throughout this pandemonium, Denzel maintained his characteristic calm and dignity, repeatedly trying to explain that he was indeed himself even as his words were drowned out by the clamor of the crowd. Yet, this extraordinary case of mistaken identity served as a catalyst, gradually unraveling the rich tapestry of local history. The legend of the forgotten actor, cherished and revered by the people, began to resurface with passion and intensity, further fueling an already explosive atmosphere. Chapter 3. The unforeseen encounter with the maverick doctor. Exhausted by the relentless noise and chaos, Denzel decided to slip away from the clamor of the central square to explore the quieter corners of the ancient city. Night had fallen, but the city remained awake, its narrow alleys lit by flickering street lamps and steeped in an air of mystery. As he wandered through these winding paths, a soft, almost imperceptible sound reached his ears from behind an old apothecary set in a gloomy, centuries-old building. Drawing closer, he discovered a scene that seemed to leap from another time. A small group of locals had gathered around an elderly man who, despite his modest appearance, exuded a quiet strength and determination. Clad in a simple white coat, his eyes shone with a mix of resolve and sorrow, and every word he spoke carried an almost magical weight. This was Dr. Vassell, a dedicated physician who, despite overwhelming poverty and challenging circumstances, had never abandoned his calling to heal. The encounter with Dr. Vassell struck Denzel like a bolt of lightning. In a low, steady voice, the doctor recounted his daily struggles against a corrupt bureaucracy and the rampant negligence of local authorities who continuously denied him the resources he so desperately needed. He described nights spent in fear as he organized covert deliveries of medicine and his daring, secretive trips through dangerous streets under the cover of darkness to save lives. His tale was steeped in raw emotion and fraught with peril, his voice trembling with the gravity of each sacrifice he had made. Suddenly, the quiet night was shattered. A group of vicious attackers, clearly intent on silencing his work, emerged from the shadows. In a flash, a fierce skirmish broke out. Without hesitation, Denzel sprang into action. Side by side, he and Dr. Vassell confronted the assailants in a sequence of high-octane action reminiscent of a blockbuster fight scene. Amidst clashing metal, shattered glass, and piercing shouts, every heartbeat counted. The scene was a whirlwind of adrenaline, where each dodge and every counterattack spoke volumes of their determination to protect the innocent. Chapter 4. Echoes of the past and a pledge to change the future. After the chaotic clash subsided and the street began to settle into an uneasy calm, both Denzel and Dr. Vassell were left to contemplate the significance of their fateful encounter. Walking back to a modest guesthouse, Denzel's mind churned with the myriad injustices he had witnessed and the deep-seated suffering that plagued this land. In the quiet solitude of his room, as he reread notes from the director, the weight of the local tragedy pressed heavily upon him. That restless night evolved into fervent discussions among the film crew and local collaborators. People shared their personal stories of betrayal, heartache, and the relentless battle against crime and corruption. The atmosphere was electric, every word seeming to be a clarion call for change. In that charged moment, Denzel's mission crystallized. He must not only assist Dr. Vassell but also rally the community to challenge the oppressive forces that gripped the region. He began to devise a bold plan, a comprehensive initiative that would combine fundraising efforts with secret meetings and strategic sessions, aimed at devising practical solutions to the systemic problems. The discussions quickly morphed into full-blown strategy sessions, where the fate of the city hung by a thread. Denzel realized that his celebrity status could serve as a potent tool in the battle against injustice. Yet, he was also painfully aware that on every step of this path lay challenges, conspiracies, betrayals, and hidden enemies waiting to strike. Nevertheless, this struggle promised to be an epic journey of personal transformation and national awakening. Chapter 5. The rescue plan, an epic preparation for battle. In the days that followed, every moment was consumed by action, meticulous planning, and daring operations. Denzel, along with a dedicated team of local volunteers and sympathetic insiders, orchestrated a series of clandestine meetings. They brought together entrepreneurs, community organizers, and even disillusioned former government officials, all united by the belief that they could restore hope to their beleaguered homeland. The blueprint to revitalize Dr. Vassell's clinic was no less than a military campaign. Every detail was planned, every role assigned, as if they were preparing for a decisive battle. Under the cloak of night, while the city slumbered, Denzel and his allies ventured into crowded markets and industrial districts, seeking to persuade influential local figures to provide the desperately needed resources. These missions were fraught with high-stakes chases through shadowy alleys, narrow escapes from watchful security dogs, and adrenaline-fueled getaways from suspicious patrols. Each risky operation was a pulse-pounding scene, where courage and precision were the only tickets to survival. In these moments, every second carried the potential to alter the course of their mission. Between these covert operations, Denzel held numerous gatherings where every word, every gesture, took on monumental significance. He shared stories of his past triumphs, all the while demonstrating a profound understanding of the local struggles. His unwavering charisma and confidence not only disarmed the cynics but also inspired every member of the team, instilling in them the belief that they were part of something far larger than a mere film production, a revolution of the human spirit. Chapter 6. The battle for the clinic, drama unfolds on the streets. The most dramatic chapter arrived when, under the cover of darkness, an armed gang targeting the initiative launched a surprise assault on the secret base where funds and materials for the clinic's renovation were hidden. As night deepened and streetlights flickered uncertainly, the ambush began, a barrage of chaos marked by billowing smoke, shattering glass, and the terror of imminent danger. Denzel, together with Dr. Vassell and a few steadfast allies, found themselves in the very heart of the conflict. With no time to hesitate, Denzel drew upon both his physical training and instinct, leading a fierce defense. The ensuing battle unfolded like an intricately choreographed action sequence. Each punch, each evasion amidst falling debris, became a testament to their will to survive. In those critical moments, time itself appeared to slow, every heartbeat echoing the stakes of their struggle for justice. Dr. Vassal, equally valiant, organized the evacuation of the wounded with a calm authority that shone like a beacon in the midst of chaos. Although the skirmish left deep emotional and physical scars, the combined valor of Denzel and his team eventually repelled the attackers. The bitter taste of conflict lingered, a stark reminder that the fight for justice exacts a heavy toll. Chapter 7. The Rise of Hope, a revival of faith in humanity in the aftermath of the brutal clash. The city seemed to hold its breath as the first soft rays of dawn dispelled the remnants of the long, harrowing night. With a new day breaking, Denzel and the local activists gathered in the central square, a place where they could share their raw emotions and collectively chart a path forward. Amid this atmosphere of fragile hope, Dr. Vassal took to the stage and delivered a moving, heartfelt speech. He recounted the personal losses he had endured, the countless sleepless nights tormented by the faces of those he could not help, and yet spoke of a rekindled strength born of the solidarity among the people. His words resonated deeply, stirring even the most hardened hearts with the promise of a brighter future. Emboldened by the profound moment, Denzel shared his own memories of past roles, times when a single act of kindness had the power to transform lives. Together with local leaders, he unveiled a new plan for the complete renovation of the clinic. This ambitious project not only aimed to provide material aid but also to establish educational centers for the training of medical personnel. The initiative emerged as a powerful symbol of hope, a testament that even in the darkest times, united people could kindle a light strong enough to overcome despair. As the traditional music of local musicians filled the square, every person present felt that they were witnessing the birth of a new era. The communal spirit, underscored by passionate harmonies and shared dreams, promised that the struggle for a better tomorrow was only just beginning. Chapter 8. A dramatic twist, personal trials and turbulent emotions. Despite the wave of hope, the journey toward the clinic's revival was fraught with internal strife and personal conflicts. One of the local leaders, a young activist named Ivan, began to feel sidelined by Denzel's dominating presence. Ivan's own ideas and vision, he believed, were being ignored, igniting a bitter tension that threatened to unravel the unity of the movement. This internal conflict reached its boiling point during one of the heated strategy sessions, when raised voices and harsh words reverberated like hammers striking fragile hearts. Realizing the peril that such discord posed to their shared goal, Denzel sought a private conversation with Ivan in the shadowed confines of an old, secluded building. Under the soft glow of a flickering antique lamp, they laid bare their frustrations and hopes, sharing tears and raw vulnerability. This honest exchange became the turning point that not only reconciled their differences but also reaffirmed their commitment to the cause. However, the greatest challenge was yet to come. Rumors of betrayal began to circulate, a whisper that someone within their own ranks was embezzling the very funds meant to restore the clinic. Caught in a spiraling web of conspiracy and treachery, Denzel and his team found themselves forced into launching a covert operation codenamed Pure Heart. Every member of the group was now compelled to prove their loyalty amid perilous chases through dark alleys, sudden ambushes, and nerve-wracking betrayals that placed their lives in constant jeopardy. Chapter 9. The grand unveiling, Operation Justice, takes shape when the truth finally emerged. It became clear that every effort leading up to this moment had been building toward a monumental showdown. Denzel convened a critical meeting with local law enforcement officials, presenting undeniable evidence against the traitors within the initiative. The meeting, charged with raw emotion and dramatic intensity, served as a turning point, a moment when the combined forces of justice and determination began to dismantle the web of corruption. Simultaneously, Denzel and Dr. Vassal organized a series of public benefit events, designed not only to raise funds but also to fortify the moral resolve of the community. Despite the continual obstacles, the people began to believe that together they could overcome any adversity. Each day was a delicate balance of risk and heroism. Brave souls organized outdoor rallies, mobile medical clinics, and nocturnal raids aimed at rooting out the traitors. Standing at the helm of this grand operation, Denzel felt that his life had gained a new meaning, where his talent and fame had transformed into potent instruments for change. Chapter 10. The Clinic Reborn, a new dawn for the community. Finally, after enduring countless trials, heart-stopping action, and dramatic upheavals, the long-awaited day arrived. The clinic, under the stewardship of Dr. Vassell, had been completely restored. Its state-of-the-art equipment, pristine treatment rooms, and a new, inspiring atmosphere stood as a testament to the collective efforts of a community reborn. The grand inauguration took place in the opulent hall of a centuries-old palace, where dignitaries, local leaders, volunteers, and even skeptical officials, once doubtful of the possibility of change, stood united. Denzel delivered a stirring speech that touched every heart present, emphasizing that true greatness lies in fighting for truth and justice, and in standing together to build a better future. On stage, Dr. Vassell shared his own moving recollections, describing how every tear, every drop of sweat shed in the struggle for his patients now bore fruit in the renewed hope shining in every grateful eye. His words, imbued with both pain and an unyielding optimism, resonated deeply as a symbol that even the gravest hardships can be overcome through solidarity. Thunderous applause erupted as the crowd acknowledged the victory not only of a refurbished clinic but of a community united by an unbreakable spirit. News of the clinic's revival spread throughout the region, inspiring similar initiatives and a belief that real change was indeed possible. Chapter 11. A personal trial. Denzel's inner transformation. In the wake of these overwhelming events, Denzel found himself confronting a profound internal journey. Amid the exhaustion of battles fought on the streets and the lingering memories of loss and hardship, he retreated into quiet reflection. Long, sleepless nights brought him face to face with his own fears and doubts, ultimately leading him to realize that the true triumph was not solely in external victories but in conquering one's inner demons. He spent hours in thoughtful conversation with local sages and wise elders, absorbing their ancient wisdom and insights about the strength of the human spirit. These dialogues became a ritual of cleansing, a process that allowed him to redefine his role in this tumultuous world. Denzel discovered that every encounter, every act of courage, even the most harrowing moments of violence, was a step toward understanding the deeper values of kindness, honesty, and genuine humanity. Chapter 12. Epilogue. The resonance of a new era. When the film wrapped and the sets were finally dismantled, Denzel returned to the bright lights of Hollywood forever changed. He was no longer merely the celebrated star who had landed in a foreign land, he had become a symbol of hope, proof that even in the darkest moments, the human spirit can ignite powerful change. Months later, tales of his benevolent acts and the miraculous revival of the clinic spread far and wide. Dr. Vassell, now a local hero, received invitations to speak at numerous charity events, and volunteers, inspired by the transformation, set about launching new community projects founded on the principles of unity and compassion. Denzel stayed on in the region for several weeks longer, actively participating in social projects, hosting workshops, and engaging with local talents. He recounted how a chance encounter had sparked a revolution of goodwill, a reminder that every one of us has the power to make a difference when we open our hearts to empathy and truth. Thus, what began as a case of mistaken identity evolved into a sweeping saga of drama, action, personal loss, and ultimate redemption. It became a story about how lives can be transformed in a matter of weeks, how destinies intertwine in the most unexpected ways, and how each person, regardless of fame or fortune, can emerge as a hero when driven by the desire to do good. Whenever Denzel later recalled that extraordinary journey from the glittering boulevards of Hollywood, he felt a warm glow in his heart. He knew that far away, in a small town that had once been shrouded in despair, people still remembered him as the man who brought hope and marked the beginning of a new era.